Live from Thornbury Creek at Oneida, this is Locker Room with Local 5 Sports Director Bert Griffin. Now your host, Bert Griffin.
The return of Romeo helped lead Green Bay to a banner day, with Jordan Love putting himself in some lofty conversation in Packers history. And now a showdown is set for Sunday at Lambeau Field, with two of the best young quarterbacks and teams in the NFL ready to make a statement. Time now for another edition of Locker Room.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Locker Room right here at Thornbury Creek at Oneida, the golf course this year, which will be our home for the rest of 2024. Well, the Packers have won back-to-back games, and now the Houston Texans will come to Titletown on Sunday. Here to talk about that and all things in the green and gold, former Packer defensive back and Super Bowl champion, Jarrett Bush. How you doing there, buddy?
Doing good. So,
looking good, looking good.
It.
I never beat you in the clothing department, and we didn't plan this, but there must have been a theme that we were thinking about.
Yeah. Pink,
good
I like
stuff,
it.
Man. All right.
Must have blow your mind.
Always sharp. Oh, yeah. That's a plug, too. I know what you did there. But go ahead. No, you don't.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
Bullseye
that.
Bar, come see us.
All right. Look, quarterback and safety, defensive back, Evan Williams will join us in a moment. But Sunday's game, going in, I thought, okay, this might be a dogfight. The Cardinals are showing me a little something. I mean, they're a very weird team to figure out, but the Packers put the hammer down right from the get-go, and the return of Romeo Doubs was huge.
It was, and very timely it was, because I think as Packer fans, we're very short-term memory, you know, and winning solves everything, I'll say that, and go out there and perform well, kick butt and take names, and all else is forgiven and grace is in order.
Yeah, well, not only did he return, but Christian Watson came back from that bum ankle. Talk about a pretty quick recovery given how bad that looked 3 weeks ago. He makes a couple big plays, and he can just flat out stretch and open that field up deep.
For sure, and he did that remarkably well with Budda Baker. I mean, he got a little lucky because there was no single high, Bert.
Yeah.
But at the same time, hey, that was great strategy, great play call, and Christian Watson with his 4.3 speed ran away from Budda Baker, which is also a phenomenal player, and Jordan Love put a dime on to Christian Watson for a great touchdown there.
Absolutely. And you know what? Timely turnovers. We've seen mostly interceptions up to this point, but they had 3 forced fumbles and recoveries. When you win the turnover battle like that, you've got a legitimate chance to win every single game.
For sure. And you hit spot on the nail right there, Bert, because I think this causing turnovers is going to be huge. You're stopping the offense's momentum at the same time. And I love the versatility of getting the ball back, too, because a lot of times I feel like we were known for getting the pick, and we caused some turnovers. And I thought that was a function in the mentality of the defense, too, as well as the toughness, willing to punch the ball. We'll talk to Evan, our guest, coming on here shortly, as well as to strip the ball. I think that's, again, another testimony of the defense.
All right, you know what time it is? It is time now for our pivotal performance powered by IBEW Local 158. There were several key contributors in that 34-13 win over the Cardinals, but it was hard not to notice the impact that Romeo Doubs had on the field and on the sideline with his teammates, especially with that end zone celebration. The Packers wide receiver returned from that suspension. Pair of touchdowns, also a huge catch. Romeo Doubs with our pivotal performance powered by IBEW Local 158. This week, it could have gone to probably 4 or 5 different guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jaden Reed, it seems like they got him the ball early and often.
Yep.
Then Romeo Doubs, I think he definitely carved out his niche in what he does on this team. I think he was a little disgruntled, but came back and responded really well, and that's what you want to see. You want to bounce back.
Well, and Packers running backs also kind of setting the tone early. Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson. They opened that defense. They had over 100 yards combined, and when you run the football, good things happen.
Yeah, I love this running back crew, Burke. I love that Brandon Jacobs runs angry, and as well as Josh Jacobs.
You played against Brandon Jacobs.
Brandon Jacobs was both beasts in running the ball. I dare you to try to tackle him.
Yep.
And Emmanuel Wilson as well, being patient. I thought he was patient, but also that quiet storm that is able to produce on the ball.
All right, when we come back, it is time to introduce our special player guest of the week. Packers defensive back Evan Williams is in the house. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Locker Room right here at Thornbury Creek at Oneida, the golf course. Please welcome and keep it going for Packers defensive back and safety, Evan Williams, everyone. How you doing?
Doing
What's
well,
up, buddy?
doing well. How you guys doing?
Good. It's always fun to celebrate after a win. You get Victory Monday. You get pretty much all of Tuesday off up until tonight.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the past couple days?
I mean, absolutely. You know, any days that following a win, you know, you can't be too mad at that. They say a win masks all your problems, you know, at the end of the day. So, yeah, really glad to, you know, be able to go out there and dominate last Sunday.
Yeah, hey, being a former defensive back, Evan, I just want to welcome you onto the show and thank you for your time. Most importantly, I think the first question for me, I think just understanding schematics is a thing, right? Jeff Hafley, former defensive back. Dom Capers was my defensive coordinator, and he was like a robot. He was a machine, and he didn't show too much emotion. What's the demeanor like or the relationship with Jeff Hafley?
Yeah, I'd say he shows a little bit of emotion. You know, he can get us fired up definitely before games, but he's just a guy that, you know, has really allowed us to play free in this defense and, you know, doesn't overload us with too much, you know, so we don't have too much on our head while we're out on the field. He just kind of gives us that freedom to kind of just play instinctual and be ball players. And, yeah, I mean, I think we got a great thing going in the defensive room and, you know, looking to keep that turnover streak going.
Well, what has been the key for you? Because some people will say, well, the light finally went on. It seems to sound like it's been on for you for a while. And every game we see a little bit more of Evan Williams. Is it just making a matter of the reps you're getting out there? And what's led to that increase?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely take pride in, you know, making the most of my opportunities when they present themselves. And so earlier in the year, you know, I wasn't getting too much love, you know, initially. But, you know, it just took a couple games. You know, I just tried to stay patient. And, you know, it's not my job to determine who, you know, gets on that field. So I was just waiting for that opportunity. And, you know, that Rams game was, you know, my first start. I got to play that whole game. And,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't look back after that.
Well, here's what head coach Matt LaFleur had to say about Evan's recent play on the football field.
This does a great job. I think it's a credit to him. He's a smart football player, and that's something that we saw in him and our scouting staff saw in him coming out of the draft. It's just the guy he's a really intelligent guy that has great instincts and awareness and can take the plan and go out there and execute it.
Everybody has already seen that for the most part. Now, I'm not making fun of you a little bit here. I'm just going to ask truly, do you feel you went to the fourth round just because of your height? You're 5'11".
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And everyone's looking for the big 6'2" cover. I'm just, that seems to be the prototype. Mm-hmm. Is that, I would have imagined you'd be a little bit higher.
You know, it's really not my job to determine, you
right.
know, where I get to go in the draft. I was just happy to be drafted, you know, at the end of the day. Any chance I could get with any team and, you know, is very welcome. And so I'm just glad I got to, you know, go to the right organization, you know, that just values I think the things that matters, you know, the instincts you need to play safety, the range, the ball skills. And, yeah, I mean, I've just been trying to show that off, you know, since I've came here. And I think the coaching staff has given me, you know, plenty of opportunities to show what I'm capable of. And every time I just try to make the most of it.
Yep, very cool.
So my question, I'm up. Thank you, Bert. Appreciate it. So, being very specific question, just being a former defensive back, and I know what it's like to have when you have a great, dominant defensive line. Tell me what it's like to play with that, being now in a 4-3 with everybody, you know, even Keyshawn Nixon getting in the mix. What is that like, and what is it like when the defense isn't so good, defensive line isn't so good?
Yeah, you know, it's obviously a little harder on the back end when your defensive line is struggling. But, I mean, we're just blessed to have, you know, the guys that we do have in those positions. You know, you can play so much more confident, you know, in the back end when you got guys like, you know, RG, KC. I mean, and we're really deep at defensive line. So just understanding that on any down, you know, you're going to have a group of 4 guys that are going to rush the passer at an elite rate. And, yeah, you know, it makes it a lot easier in the back end. You don't got to hold your coverage as long because, you know, quarterback got to get that ball out.
Yeah, right. And whether it's the veteran Preston Smith or a middle-of-the-tier guy like a Rashawn Gary who got paid for his work the first few seasons. We all know what Kenny Clark brings, but then you throw in T.J. Slayton, Devontae Wyatt, before he got hurt, was having a couple of the best games of his career. So
Carl Brooks.
That depth, and you just keep rotating all those guys. Lucas Van Ness, you name it. So
sure.
was there I know. Did you ever have a moment during training camp where it was just like, all right, I got this? You know what I mean? Because training camp is so long. Sure. You can have 2 bad days. You can give up a touchdown. You can miss a tackle, and you might question yourself as a rookie. Was there I belong here moment?
I mean, the first one that pops into my head was either first or second day of practice. And there's a deep ball, I think that it was either Sean or Jordan threw to Wicks, just really deep in the end zone. And, I was able to go back there and track it, bring it down, run it back a little bit. And I think it was at that moment, that I was just I felt like I belonged. I just felt like that there's a place for me in this league. And, you're always trying to just prove it to yourself, each practice, just trying to go as hard as you can and prove it to yourself that you belong. And, yeah, that was definitely one of those moments where I'm like, okay, I can hang with the best of them, with our, the talent that we have in our receiving corps.
What surprised you the most about this town so far? I know we've always talked about the charity stuff, and you and a bunch of the fellas have been doing all kinds of stuff from the schools to the high school football games, PAC versus cancer. Have you felt the love and what kind of community Green Bay is when it comes to football and the town itself?
Yeah, absolutely. I really can't ask for a better town to be, just at the center of the amount of support that we get through the community, through the fans. I knew things were a little different than everywhere else. I got friends that go to, different cities and stuff in the league, and they're talking about, there's not too many people at our first couple of training camps, and our training camps are just packed out. Like the bleachers, there's no spots for anybody to sit. And so, that as well as the bikes tradition that we had, I already knew it was just going to be a special place as soon as I, stepped foot here. And it's been nothing but love and just warm reception. And, I can't be grateful enough for it.
Well, I know that's a part of the reason guys like he and Harry Sidney and everyone else have stayed and never really left, that's for sure. All right, when we come back, we'll have plenty more with Packers defensive back Evan Williams. But first, it is time for our Easy Tab Fan Cam. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Locker Room. We are live here at Thornberry Creek at Oneida. Our special player guest tonight is Packers defensive back Evan Williams. Houston comes to town and very similar circumstances. Good young quarterback, second year starting. They're 5-1. They've beaten some teams, and I know you haven't looked at everything, and you're going to probably break it all down. And we don't think Matt LaFleur is not going to let you tell us anything anyway, and you're smart enough not to. But you're aware of how potent this offense can be. They just put up 41 points, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to know that you're facing some great playmakers, when Houston steps into town. Not only in their receiving corps, but as you said, you got a great young quarterback coming in here, that's shown the ability to put the ball wherever he needs to, however far down the field. And so, yeah, definitely got to, dot our I's and cross our T's and just be on our details and play some really sound football.
But they haven't faced the Packers in the frozen tundra. I think that, yes, he is a talented quarterback. Yes, DeMeco Ryans, he's a talented head coach, and Stephon Diggs, I think may have some experience playing in Buffalo as well as the Minnesota Vikings. So I think, we have our work cut out for us, and I think you guys just need to go in and do what you guys need to do and come out on top with the W.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, honestly, when we play a complete game, I think we saw the closest thing to a complete game, for us this past Sunday. But I feel like if, we just lock in on the details for 4 quarters, play complementary football, offense and defense, you saw a couple times last game where, we turn the ball over, get a 3-and-out, and, J Love does something special,
right.
And if we keep doing that, I feel like there's, not many teams that will be able to hang with us in this league.
All right, every week we go in the locker room. Time now for In the Zone with Cameron Azaire, presented by Thornberry Creek and Oneida Nation.
Here with Packers kicker Braden Narvis. And Braden, why'd you first get into kicking? I feel like there are a lot of very attractive positions to play in football. Kicking might not be one of them. Why'd you first get into it?
I didn't even think about playing football. I actually played soccer, quit to play golf. And one of my buddies was like, hey, we need a JV kicker. All my buddies played together on the JV team, and they're like, you don't really have to come to practice. You can just come to the games and kick. We need you to come to one to see if you can kick first. And so I was like, sure, like that sounds like a lot of fun, and made a 58-yarder my first day, and so that's kind of where it started.
What year was that?
My junior year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, high school.
You'd never played football before
No, never.
And no interest at all? No one in your family played it? Nothing?
My brothers wanted to play really badly, but I was kind of dead set on soccer and golf. Yeah, never thought about football.
Were you always a guy with like a big leg that could kick it far?
Yeah, in soccer for sure. Yeah, so that's kind of, I guess, where it came from.
So when you hit that 58-yarder, I assume something got into you like, okay, maybe I can do this. At what point in your junior or maybe senior year did you think that way?
Well, I honestly had no idea even what I did initially, and everybody was kind of telling me, and for the longest time, like the JV coaches were trying to hide me from varsity so I wouldn't play on varsity because we had different coaches or whatever. But no, I mean, I kind of figured out a little bit after that. Obviously, I had people telling me that, my leg talent was there, and, just kind of built on that and kept going, yeah.
Last one, now that you are kicking for a career, could you imagine doing anything else?
No, I love it, and every day is a blessing, like we said. You never know when's your last play, whether it's an injury or anything. And so, you got to attack every day like it is your last and like it's a first impression, like I said before, and just keep going. So I'm really excited, just trying to stack days.
All righty, thank you, men. Hopefully he will start stacking successes, and we can talk about him on the team moving forward. All right, time for our 1-minute drill. You ready?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Best thing you bought with your money, Evan?
Oh, I would have to say my apartment right
Apartment?
now.
All right.
Yeah.
Car you drive?
Hyundai Sonata, same one
Wow,
since college.
wow,
Yeah.
I like it.
Saving his money,
saving the
smart
cashies.
man, smart
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Even the crowd was clapping because they know.
Wait, what's your go-to jam when you're driving?
Oh man, changes with the seasons. I'll have to say. I can't give you one
What's in it now?
song.
What's in it now?
Right now,
You getting it right now? I saw you, the lady.
sure. I'll say probably some Lil Baby is my favorite
All
artist
right.
right now.
Biggest influence in your life?
Either my mom or older brother.
Favorite NFL player growing up?
Ooh, might say Buda Baker.
Wow, so you actually got to play against him?
Yeah, got to see him after the game.
Or
too,
not
so.
against him on the field, but that's cool.
Yeah. That
Shook
was
his
cool.
hand?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's very good. If you could be a pro athlete in a different sport, what would it be?
I say baseball.
Baseball? Nice.
Yeah. I don't
Shortstop?
have- Second base, shortstop, for
Interior
sure.
fielder? Got some pop in the back? Can you
Oh
hit-
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
just making sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, Las Vegas or the beach?
The beach.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Golf or fishing?
Golf.
Steak, fish, or chicken?
I'll do steak.
And finally, for Evan Williams, do you have any big like sponsorships or any deals out there with anybody that you talk to promote? Because I heard there's a certain whiskey out there.
I haven't been
the
able
label,
to collaborate quite yet.
I'm just saying, you could talk to your agent and just I don't have to take
We'll see
credit
if we can
for
make
it.
something happen.
There's an Evan
Yeah.
Williams out there that would fit just perfect.
I haven't told anybody yet, but I was in Pop Warner. They would call me Evan Whiskey Williams over the loudspeaker. We had one announcer that would say, touchdown, Evan Whiskey. And so I'm young. I don't really know what they're talking about. But
The parents definitely got it.
yeah, they understood.
Oh,
I'm
the little
sure.
guys out there were probably just joking. Hey, by the way, who is that pretty little lady out there?
Oh, I didn't even. Oh, that's
There
my
she is.
girlfriend right there. My beautiful girlfriend, Daya. She's in the crowd.
Big round of applause for her for letting you come do the show tonight.
Absolutely.
All right, when we come back, we'll wrap up the show with our keys to the ball game. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to Locker Room. Time now for our keys to the game, brought to you by the Dispensary. First and foremost, sack C.J. Stroud. The Texans quarterback has been dropped 16 times. Distribute the football. This team had 9 different players catch passes from Jordan Love last week. When that happens, good things take place. And finally, do something special. And I don't know, make all your kicks and have a big return like Keyshawn did in the last game, right?
For sure.
Go ahead.
Last question. What color gloves do you wear?
It depends on the week and who we're playing, because sometimes you gotta wear the same color as they have jerseys on, just so you
Yeah.
you can get away with a couple of
The trick. He knows the trick.
Yeah,
Those
absolutely.
refs out there.
I think Matt LaFleur used the word smart. That is why. Big round of applause for Packers defensive back Evan Williams. See you next week on Locker Room.
Thank you for watching Locker Room.